Everybody still hanging out at the Still at Tachi Palace Casino Resort in Lemoore. Jay's here, food and beverage director for Tachi, the mastermind behind the Still. We just got through our first whiskey flight of the evening. 3 of these I'm really familiar with. Glenfiddich 12, Dalmore 12, and Macallan 12. But it was this last one on the end, the Compass Box. That was a new one for me. How'd you find it?
So Compass Box, it's one of our vendors presented it to me. Like most people, I was skeptical of a newer. I mean, it's not really new, but it's 25 years old. But I was a little skeptical because people are very traditional about their scotches. But when we tried them, we're like, wow, this is something unique. They have all different expressions of it, and they do a really good job.
There's definitely, and I mean, this isn't exclusive to whiskey drinkers, but I can say that I've seen it plenty in that circle. There is rigidity. Somebody finds the bottle that they like, whether it was something that they experimented their way to, or that's what my grandpa drank, therefore that's what I'm drinking. And there is a rigidity there. I've got a friend who's still hunting up bottles of J&B. Like he wants J&B soda with a twist, and that's his drink. And if he absolutely has no other option, then he'll go grab Dewar's. But this is a guy who's figured out like which Smart and Final in the Bay Area is going to have J&B when it's time to set up. That's rigidity. That's 40 years of ingrained habit. Do you think that when you've got an environment like this where you've got somebody who loves Jameson, for argument's sake, and they're used to the bottle of Jameson that we can all go get at the grocery store, maybe they played with the Black Barrel or the Stout or something like that, but they come in here and all of a sudden you don't just have the stuff that you can find anywhere, but you've got the really rare stuff, cask strength, bonded, all of that. Is the hope that it opens them up to, okay, well, if I liked the Jameson bonded, maybe I'll give something else a try?
Exactly. We want to, a lot of people try different things. And we're, like I told you earlier, we're going to add to our flight menu so that we can have different expressions and different brands competing against each other. So people can really try it and try a flight for, $15, 4 different drinks, that you can taste and understand and get a knowledge of. So that is our goal.
That's an interesting thing. So right now, flights are usually grouped by family. So if you come in and get a flight, you can get a flight of Macallan, 12, 15, 18, or Glenfiddich, 12, 14, 15, what have you. But having, like in this case, we did 4 12-year-old scotches side to side. Is that restriction something that the distilleries are insisting upon, or is that just the conventional format for a flight?
The distilleries, obviously, they would prefer that you only use their products.
Sure.
But, it's that they're fine as long as they're on the menu for the most part. They understand that people are going to have options. They think that they're, for the most part, they think their brands are the best, and that if they have the 4 of them, then they're going to choose their brand.
Of course.
So they are for it. But, they would prefer it to be just their brands on the flight. So
a lot of these flights, you're able to establish, if you're going to come in and do, again, a Macallan flight, you're going to be able to say, okay, if you're doing, 12 double oak, 15, 18, this is the price. But for folks who want to come in and build their own, literally call the shots, that's just going to be a matter of figure out what you're willing to spend, right?
Yeah. It depends on if you get, what size of flight. If you get 3, you get a little bit more juice in it. If you get 4, it's going to be a little bit less. But we try to keep the price down so it's reasonable, under $20 for the most part, depending on what the items are. But yeah, our plan is to get to a point where somebody can come in and say, I want to try this, and this, and we build the board for it. We're just working on the pricing structure for that right now.
And for the folks that want to come in and they're going to make an evening out of it, they're going to make a weekend out of it. Maybe you got a bachelor party coming through. If I come in, I try a flight, I find something that I love. Am I allowed to buy a bottle and bring it back to my table?
Table on the casino floor? No.
No. I mean, in here.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah. Last thing you need is a bunch of guys running around with their hand around the neck of a bottle on the casino floor. That's not going to fly.
Yeah.
It's a funny image. It's very old West, but there's a reason it's behind us. So really enjoyed this. For somebody that's coming in that wants to play with Scotch with bourbon or whatever, do you have Jay's recommendation for how to crack the seal on the particular variation of whiskey?
We're working on that. That's all part of the plan and part of the process that we're going through, to establish everything that we want. That's definitely part of it. So, we want to have different people other than just me.
Yeah.
Obviously doing it too.
Of course. Well, but being the food and beverage director, you do have the advantage of a very wide breadth of experience. You've been to these distilleries, you've traveled, you've met with these people. Let me ask you this, because you've talked about being back in Kentucky and having a little bit of one-on-one time. And while we were enjoying our flights, you were also talking about some experiences with vineyards and the personal impression. Won't give a name because we don't want to alienate anybody, but there was one family in particular that really made an impression on you. They were really welcoming, really took their time, gave you access. With the distilleries, do you think that experience affects your love of a particular bottle?
It definitely influences it. It definitely, I mean, when you get treated well, when you kind of roll out the red carpet for you or whatever, it definitely, helps. But the juice has to be, what we expect.
They can be the nicest human beings on earth if they give you a glass of black velvet at the party zone.
Yes, absolutely.
Which, by the way, is a whiskey that is not available at the still. You cannot get black velvet here.
You cannot.
There's, as far as I can tell, there's actually nothing that comes in a plastic jug.
There's nothing. No plastic jugs and very little screw caps. They're pretty much all quarts.
All right, guys, come on out. Seriously, give this place a shot. It's at the Tachi Palace Casino Resort in Lemoore. When you're coming into the hotel, it is off to the right. If you just curve back towards the coffee bar, you cannot miss it. If you're coming in from the pool, it's all the orange umbrellas nestled right in the crook of the arc of the hotel. 450 bottles available, incredible selection of cigars to enjoy, and the Whiskey Club. And the Whiskey Club, it really makes a difference if you're going to spend any time here, because some of these bottles they're really special. They're kind of expensive. And if you're a member of the Whiskey Club, you are going to get a way better deal. And it's free to join. It's a postcard. It's contact information.
Yep.
All right, Jay, thank you again for having us out here. We're going to run around, meet some more folks, and maybe tell a couple more stories